In this video, I'm going to be telling you all about supplements. What are some of the myths about supplements? Which supplements do you definitely need to take? Which ones maybe you could take and which ones don't bother with? Okay, so what are supplements? Well, these are nutrients we add into our diet. They can be vitamins, minerals, fibre, enzymes, amino acids, all sorts of things, and they can come as gummies, liquids, tablets, capsules, lots of different varieties, and we take them to try and improve our health or well-being. But unfortunately, a lot of them are a waste of money. So if you're looking at a supplement which is making a huge amount of health claims, it may well be too good to be true. We spend in the UK alone about £450 million a year on supplements. A lot of them make spurious claims that are not evidence-based or low evidence quality. And unfortunately, it means that sometimes you're spending money and you don't really need it. So for most of the adult population, for most of the time, you don't necessarily need supplements. But there are some exceptions to that, of which I shall tell you. So is it enough to take a multivitamin? Well, I would advise not necessarily. So if you know you've got a specific deficiency or you might be at risk of a specific deficiency, then take that individual vitamin. If you have a very poor diet or you have a reason why you may not be absorbing properly through the gut, for example, you're on certain medications or you have a condition like celiac or inflammatory bowel disease, you may well benefit from a multivitamin. But for most of the time, try and have a good diet and just take what specifically you might be missing. This includes iron tablets. So some people might want to consider iron, especially vegetarians, vegans, or for example, women who have heavy periods. Which supplements should we be taking every day? Well, if you take anything away from this video, take away that in the darker months, you should be taking vitamin D. Public Health England recommend that in our sun-starved UK, in the darker months, we should be taking 10 micrograms a day of vitamin D. This is really important for your bones, for your tissues, even for your brain and for your immune system. So take that vitamin D every day throughout the dark months. And some groups of people do also need to take it all year round. And that includes breastfed babies, anyone who covers their skin all the time, young children, and people who don't really get much exposure to sunshine. Another supplement I often recommend to patients, even though it's not within the guidance to necessarily endorse every day, is magnesium. And that's because a lot of studies show that a lot of people living in the Western world are deficient in magnesium. If you're deficient in magnesium, this can cause you even to have irregular heart rhythms. So magnesium is often used to help people sleep, and it can also help with migraines. The evidence isn't robust enough yet for Public Health England to recommend that, but it's pretty safe to try and you may find it beneficial. As long as you're going about up to 400 milligrams a day of magnesium, you're unlikely to do any harm and you may find it beneficial. If you prefer to have magnesium in your food, which is what I do, I often, for example, add pumpkin seeds to my porridge, and you can even try magnesium bath salts and see if that makes any difference. Another supplement you might have heard lots about is omega-3. Now, again, it's something that there is considered to be quite a widespread deficiency in omega-3. But the government advises that instead of reaching for the supplements, we try and improve our diet instead. So if you are able, try and have 2 portions of fish a week at least, one of which should be an oily fish like salmon or mackerel. And that should be sufficient for your omega-3. If for any reason you can't do this or you want to try and supplement omega-3 for other reasons, it's pretty good for your heart health. Some people find it helps with their joint inflammation. Then go ahead and take an omega-3 supplement and see how that affects you. Other supplements people take for their joints are cod liver oil and chondroitin. Mixed evidence again, so it's up to you if you want to try it and see how you get on. So what about children? Well, in an ideal world, children would eat a plethora of varied fruit and vegetables and love them. But as a mother of 3 young children, I know that's not true. So it is a recommendation that children aged from 6 months to 5 years should have a daily vitamin that includes vitamins A, C and D. These vitamins are important for their immune system, for their body tissues, for their skin, and just overall health, eyesight, things like that. So it's really important that your children are taking a daily multivitamin. These often come as gummies, they think they're sweets, so it's usually not too tricky to try and encourage them to have them. If you're lacking energy, should you consider a supplement? I would be cautious about this. I see a lot of the adverts for supplements that say things like feeling tired, try this. But realistically, unless you know that you might have a deficiency, like I mentioned, the women, if for example, who have heavy periods, you might know that you might be iron deficient. It might be sensible to try iron supplementation. Unless you have that reason to understand you might have a deficiency, I would rather you went and spoke to your GP, because we would do some other investigations to see if there's another cause for you feeling very tired or lacking energy. So don't automatically assume you can take some supplements to fix that and make it better. So where should you buy your supplements, and which ones are the best to buy? I would say avoid buying them from some unknown online company. That's because it may not have been matched to UK standards. It may have a different dose to what it says it has in it, or not enough of any of the vitamin. It might not include enough of the active ingredient, or it might have other active ingredients in it, some of which may be harmful. So just be careful. I would say buy from a reputable pharmacy, either on your high street or online, and read the label, check the dosage. Because although the idea is, lots of people think, but I bought it from a health food shop, or it says it's natural, therefore it is going to be safe. Unfortunately, just because something is naturally bought from a health food shop doesn't actually mean it's safe. Some of these can interact with the current medications. Sometimes they can, as I mentioned, include these other substances which can be harmful, even, for example, like liver damage. So do be aware of that. I would say try and focus more of your attention and money, rather, because some of these supplements can be very expensive, on improving your diet and trying to increase your activity levels. As boring as it sounds, that is going to be the best thing for you. If you're worried about a specific deficiency, go and see your GP. We can do some tests and find out. The key message is your body's really good at metabolizing vitamins, minerals, fiber, everything like that from food we eat. But when we take a supplement, it is possible to overdose. That can lead to side effects just like diarrhea and things like that, or it can lead to something more serious. So always better to get it from your diet if you can, or don't overdose on the vitamin. So if you're taking a multivitamin, just be careful about any individual vitamins you're taking on top, because you might overdo it. I hope that helps. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in my next video.